Most of us are waiting for the right moment to finally be happy. We tell ourselves the real living begins after we hit that next income bracket, after we secure the promotion, or when life finally stops throwing problems at us. We treat joy like a physical destination, always resting somewhere in the future. This conditional approach to happiness often leaves high achievers feeling unexpectedly empty. You achieve the goal, you cross the finish line, and the satisfaction you expected fails to materialize because life rarely settles down. Neuroscience suggests that happiness functions as a physical pattern of neural activity, strengthened within the mind through repetition, rather than discovered in the environment. Every frustrated reaction and anxious thought physically wires your mind. If daily behaviors continuously train the brain to process stress, the pathway becomes so efficient that external rewards, no matter how large, struggle to register as satisfaction. You can interrupt this process without a total life overhaul. You only need to teach your nervous system a different default setting. Happiness is a biological pattern built by repetition. By introducing 6 microhabits into your day, you begin rewriting your default programming. The training begins in the vulnerable first moments after waking up. Before you reach for your phone or interact with digital media, your brain is in a highly receptive state. Left to its own devices, your mind automatically scans for problems, an evolutionary carryover. Today, that threat detection center activates in response to a smartphone. But finding one positive thing redirects this. It activates your reticular activating system, pulling in positive stimuli rather than just threats. After addressing your internal focus, your brain requires natural morning light instead of a digital screen. Stepping outside or opening a window for even 1 minute has measurable effects. This specific light spectrum regulates your circadian rhythm, increases serotonin levels, and stabilizes your mood. These 2 morning inputs replace automatic evolutionary anxiety with chemically generated energy, providing a different lens for the day ahead. During the workday, most people complete dozens of tasks without acknowledging any emotional satisfaction. They finish a chore and immediately move to the next item on the list. Recognizing these small wins is biologically necessary. Taking a moment to acknowledge a job well done generates a dopamine spike. This chemical release feeds directly back into the cycle, strengthening your momentum for the next effort. Self-assurance grows from making and keeping these tiny promises to yourself, over and over, until your brain trusts your ability to execute. This momentum needs protection at the end of the day, when the mind often defaults to replaying mistakes or unfinished tasks right before sleep. Memory is selective. Whatever you review before sleep gets stored as your dominant reality. By asking what went well today, you force your brain to categorize and store positive experiences deeply, rather than focusing on stress. Deliberately acknowledging these moments provides your brain with evidence that your reality contains more reward than threat, breaking the cycle of chronic dissatisfaction. Connecting with others shifts your internal state. Send one unprompted positive message every day. This connection triggers the release of oxytocin and dopamine. These chemicals construct a sense of neurological safety, which is a prerequisite for experiencing joy. While you cannot avoid daily stressors, you can use 3 slow breaths to intervene before reacting to conflict. Focus on an exhale that is longer than the inhale. This signals the vagus nerve to slow your heart rate. Within seconds, your nervous system shifts out of a state of high arousal, and your thoughts become clearer. Emotional regulation involves utilizing connection and breath to rapidly return your biology to a state of peace after a stressor occurs. Many of us hope for a dramatic breakthrough, a change in wealth or environment that fixes everything at once. But a massive, rigid stone is smoothed out more effectively by the impact of steady drops of water. Neuroplasticity works the same way. The brain changes through nearly invisible, daily repetition, rather than single, dramatic moments. Eventually, you reach a point where you realize worry has decreased and appreciation has increased, independent of any external changes in your life. This shift requires a change in perspective. Stop evaluating these habits by your immediate mood, and start evaluating them by the neurological patterns they are teaching your brain to adopt for the future. A better life stems from the patterns you choose to reinforce. If exploring the science behind those patterns changed how you view your own mind, subscribe to the Brain Library for more psychological and neuroscience insights.